What's up guys, Chris from Black Flag Barbell Club. Today we are going to do hopefully the first of a few stories of Black Flag Barbell. We're going to just tell you a few of the quirky things that have come up and happened and are part of the gym at this point in time. So today we're going to talk about the squat rack and how it came to be.
So we've got a nice 6 squat rack, big old rig. It is from Rogue Fitness. You can get a little, oh look at the detail. Rogue has been very good to us in terms of their equipment is generally very robustly built. So we've got a lot of Rogue bars, Rogue racks, Rogue glute ham raise, whole ton of stuff. Anyway, so this squat rack is 6 total squat racks, and in between you've got big old space, which in a CrossFit gym you would have rings and pull-ups and all that kind of stuff. So we've got a nice tall ring set up in the middle of the rack. Currently the rings are very lazily hung over there. But yeah, so we've got 6 squat racks. It's done very well for us, and it was one of the first things that we put in. So we specifically, if I walk over here, so you can see a bit of a layout of the gym. So the squat rack went in pretty much first. We laid the rubber and then we put the squat rack in. We chose this position for the squat rack so that when we do comps, and you can see that blue platform there. So when we do comps, that blue platform is the main competition platform. Just in front of these silver platforms here, so like here, we put up the partitions which divides the gym into competition spectators and warm-up room. So we specifically chose here for the squat rack because it would give us a easy time setting up comps. So it's very easy for us to just move a couple of those benches and we put them where these platforms are here. And then we've got a really sick warm-up room and a really nice open competition area with spectators, you know, seating, all that kind of stuff. So it works out really well. So that's why the rack is here. It went in first just because it was the biggest thing we had at the time. It was going to take a long time. So while we had volunteers, we put it in first. So I'm going to hop down off the hamstring curl and we're going to go over and tell you a little detail or two about how it went. Alright, so you can see at the base, so because even though it's a huge heavy rack, at each base it is bolted into the concrete. We've got bolts, and more bolts. Yeah? Now, we started installing the squat rack by putting the racks together without these in-between braces. So we just had the freestanding racks there, there, and there. And we marked out on the rubber, like, alright, we're gonna, you know, cut out this bit of rubber and bolt it into the ground here. It all fits, blah, blah, blah. So we started with this bad boy here. This was the first rack to go in, and you can see that one of these bolts does not quite look like the others. I wonder what's that there? What is it? So that's actually a drill bit. The first drill bit we tried, and I believe, I want to say it was like the first corner we tried too, but that might be incorrect. I'll have to double check with Stefan. But yeah, so the first rack that we put in, the drill bit got caught in the concrete. So underneath the warehouse there's a whole ton of concrete, obviously. That concrete is, in this instance, reinforced concrete. So there's like metal rebar that runs across and across to reinforce it. And that drill bit is stuck nice and snug in between who knows what down there, but like it ain't coming out. Like, there's no chance that we're getting that thing out. So, even though this guy is not quite a bolt, you know, it's still held in. Every other corner has 3 bolts. This one has 2 bolts and a drill bit, and it's, you know, it's solid as fuck. Unlike this camera, but it's not going anywhere. Hasn't in 4 years, so I doubt we're gonna run into any dramas. Now, story number 2. So we touched on this super nice high ring setup earlier, and if I stand back here, you can see just how tall it actually is. So, I mean, the rack itself is already very tall, but this thing is super high, so you can hang rings and do muscle ups and all that weird, wacky, wonderful stuff. But, so to put this up was, I'm surprised none of us died. So you can see here, those 4 bolts are what attaches the extra ring setup to the top of the rack. So the top of the rack here, so these 2 bolts are part of the bracket that attaches it to the rack. These 2 bolts hold the rest of that bracket to the ring thing. Yeah? Now we had, so Stefan is the tallest person we had available. So Stefan was on a ladder in the middle, literally overhead pressing this, which is very heavy. It's quite thick gauge steel. And Stefan, for reference, has had a number of previous shoulder dislocations, so this was in no way good for him. But so he's in the middle here, overhead pressing this thing, while another 2 of us are here and 2 of us are here on separate ladders, telling him up, down, left, right, trying to line these fucking bolts up for about, I want to say we were up there for like 5 to 10 minutes, while poor Stefan was sweating bullets. I think we almost saw Jesus and went to another dimension a couple of times. There were a few hairy moments, but for now it's all bolted in, it's all good, no one died, bada bing bada boom. And that is the Black Flag squat rack. So it's served us well. We've held many comps, we've had many squats, many camera issues, many squats, many overhead presses, a whole kit and caboodle. It's held up really well. Like, you can barely even tell that it's been used. The worst that happens to it is it gets dusty on the top and you got to wipe it down, but that happens to everything. So, hope you've enjoyed this little trip down memory lane, and we'll see you next time for the next Black Flag Insider Scoop.
Yeah, motherfuckers better know.